Breeze. A breeze. The sun. This is probably going somewhere. But while you figure that out, take a seat and rest beside the campfire. Wait, what is that? What is this village exploration game doing in my s'more simulator game? The village on Timber Hearth is one of my favorite starter areas of any game ever, though there are a few highlights. In the center of the village, there are these geysers. And if you get too close to them, they'll toss you into the air and kill you. Take a look at this teal stuff up here. It's called ghost matter, which will also kill you. But you can see it through a camera, like a ghost. That's matter. There is also this remote-controlled drone you can pilot. It can probably kill you, but I don't know. Away from stuff that will kill you, and is actually specifically designed to not kill you, is down this elevator. I love riding this thing. The gradual fade into pitch black as it turns into a sky of stars provides a feeling of whimsy and wonder. Although, I wish they would have put more views of stars into this game than just this one segment. At the bottom, you can put on a suit and experience a microgravity environment that slowly transitions from just a low gravity area into a you don't know which way is up or down area. This is a really fun location, and it really does make you feel like you're in space. At least until you shine your flashlight at the wall. You also fix this doohickey, which teaches you how to match velocity. Matching velocity is a thing you would most likely definitely do a lot if this were a game about space. Although, I wish they would have used the zero gravity environment in more than just this one segment. Back up above ground, you can find a platform with a scout launcher. It allows you to launch a remote drone camera called a scout that sends images back to you. Pretty cool for letting you look at a bounds. The devs even put a ton of detail outside of the map for you to look at. Although, I wish they would have used a scout launcher more than just in this one segment. Further up atop a tree there is a platform. Nothing really happens up there, but the wind combined with the perfect time of day makes such a wonderful ambience that it's become one of my favorite spots in the whole game. I love this spot so much that we're going to sit here and enjoy this for a second. You can also see the observatory from here. The observatory is for weird children who are strangely into physics. There's this rock, this weird rock, this really weird rock which doesn't even seem to comprehend the meaning of the word law, a satellite, a diagram showing how you will die, a cool fish, some text, don't worry about it, and at the top is a well-crafted model of the solar system. There is genuinely some really cool stuff you can mess with. Play with my balls here all you want, but they'll always go to specific spots. And do you know why that is? It's because of gravity. There is a moon that genuinely and legitimately affects the gravity of the planet and the orbit of the objects around it. Also, look at that Rayleigh scattering. That's all probably how it would work if the game were about space anyways. But enough of the boring nerd stuff, let's talk about trees. Have you noticed they're everywhere? All spread out in varying sizes? Some of them are a little low definition, but the ones that are detailed are very detailed. And you can even tell that they're important to the Hearthians in being an active participant of the world, just like the platform mentioned earlier atop the tree. You can consistently find steps circling around trees, and with everything being made of wood, it really shows how they not only utilize the material, but also build around the structures it naturally creates. You can even find lumber on this platform that you can ride up and down for some reason. Immersive. In the heart of the village, you can find this centerpiece, a giant hollowed out stump. It's so large that it's used to hold equipment in the base of it. I would have loved to see how tall it would be had it not been... Wait, what is that? What is this space game doing in my village exploration game? Finding myself in space for the first time is a moment that has stuck with me for years. It's just so empty and quiet. In media, there are two kinds of space. You have your busy space, like in No Man's Sky, Helldivers 2, or Hardspace Shipbreaker, which is a very good game that you should play. Where you never feel too alone, and there's always someone just to plan it over. This kind of space is fun, and shows you directly what could be, whereas the other kind doesn't just tell you, it lets you wonder, and usually has a sense of solitude to it. I call this quiet space. You can find this in games like Super Mario Galaxy, Arcane's Prey, and Outer Wilds. It's hard to describe the feeling it invokes. Many things come to mind, such as melancholic, bittersweet, alone, though you don't quite ever feel lonely. This is because even though you're drifting around the definition of emptiness, you have yourself a high-tech wave picker-upper. The signal scope. It both locates and plays frequencies it is tuned to for you. Frequencies like an emergency broadcast signal, or an anomalous call from an unknown origin, or it can just be used to play some hide and seek. But most importantly, it can be used to pick up the instruments of other travelers. Like there's one now. For the most part, each planet has its own traveler that plays its own instrument. Speaking of the planets, there are 5 of them. In order from closest to the Sun, there is the Hourglass Twins, which are made of 2 planets, the Ember Twin, a rocky sun-charred world, and the Ash Twin, a world of sand that slowly drains itself onto the Ember Twin, simultaneously exposing itself while burying the other. Then you have Timber Hearth, A world prosperous to life, with water, grass, and oxygen in high supply. Brittle Hollow. A hollowed out planet that is gradually being consumed by the black hole that it hides within itself. Giant's Deep. A world with a very thick atmosphere and a very deep ocean that is in a state of perpetual storms and hurricanes. And finally, Dark Bramble. A mysterious world of twisted vines and fog which seems to stretch for infinity. There are also some smaller objects, like Timberhearth's moon, the Arrow Rock, Brittle Hollow's moon, the Hollow's Lantern, an icy comet called the Interloper, etc. Anyways, looping back to the Travelers, you can find a total of 6 of them around the solar system. Chert on the Ember Twin playing the drums, Gavro on an island in Giant's Deep playing something, Esker in a rocking chair on the Adder Rock whistling, Felspar who is lost in the Dark Bramble playing their harmonica, Rybeck on the other side of Brittle Hollow playing the banjo, and a mysterious friend who plays the piano. They can be heard from anywhere in the system, and their songs are always in sync. So saying you are at the right place at the right time, you could hear the signals overlap and their parts combine. They play a song called Travelers. It's very simple, consisting of just 4 parts, and really only lasting about 20 seconds in its entirety. That simplicity combined with the fact that its ending loops back into its beginning makes for a great campfire song. One you can play throughout the night with the people around you. Though you will notice the lack of proper companionship after a while. And the stars, while beautiful, can only keep you company for so long. You especially notice this if you decide to go for a spacewalk. You sort of just perpetually float around, and the shadows are so dark, you can seemingly make the sun vanish with the signal scope by obscuring it. It'd be neat if they'd use the ideas of casting things in shadow and facing your fears in more than just this, but while you're outside, have fun floating around. Just remember, there is no friction in space, and it's very easy to drift too far from your ship if you're not paying attention. Also keep in mind that due to the absence of anything, terminal velocity is not a concept here while attempting to land. After that landing, we can now take some time to... we should probably speed this up a little. On the Ember Twin, you'll find not a whole lot, at least until you discover one of the many cave openings around the planet. Below the surface is a labyrinth-like cave system where many things hide like a deprecated subterranean city. One of those weird rocks I mentioned earlier. And even a high-energy lab where you can learn about warp cores, which are actually really cool with how they use time and may or may not be the mechanism behind the whole game. However, the tunnels will eventually be drowned and blocked off by the sand that is rained down by the Ash Twin, on which you will find even more, not a whole lot. While the Ember Twin initially shows its secrets and hides them later, however, the Ash Twin does the opposite. It will slowly drain itself of its sand, and eventually expose these monuments built in the likeness of other bodies around the system. Inside of these towers, you can find more warp cores that, when lined up with their proper celestial body, will allow you to warp to certain ruins and points. Like this one here is to Brittle Hollow. And now we're just here. Brittle Hollow's surface is pretty cold, and is constantly being battered by volcanic rocks from Hollow's Lantern. and after taking enough damage, the crust will break away, revealing hanging cities. There are crystals and elevators all over the place to help traverse the underside. However, these won't help you get to the largest structure, the Black Hole Forge, a multi-layered upside-down facility where they make those warp cores. You can't enter here through normal means, however, so then how are you supposed to get here? I don't know. Just make sure to watch your footing, or else you'll fall into the black hole. And be warped to the White Hole Station, which is like a black hole, but white. This is the farthest point away from the sun, at least until the interloper makes a loop around here. On the interloper you can find this crack that, when heated up enough, will melt, allowing you to slip inside. Letting you discover some tunnels you can slide down, and also a lot of ghost matter. I wonder if that's important and caused a mass extinction event. On Timber Hearth there is evidence that it is important and caused a mass extinction event. Timber Hearth actually has clues all over. You can find a quarry used to mine resources for the Ash Twin project. On the moon, you can find the ship used in the Alpha, as seen here. You can also find this crater on the planet with a strange seed in which you can fire a scout into. That's kinda strange. Following the duplicate signal will lead you into the Dark Bramble, a completely chill and relaxed area where you can find a lot of cool stuff. Primarily a decrepit mothership from an alien race that's been long abandoned. Dark Bramble can be a little confusing with its seemingly endless fog and winding brambles, and you can end up flying around in circles. It might feel like there is no exit, although I don't know why you would ever want to leave the most peaceful place in the game. But you will eventually find one leading you outside to a frozen carcass of a jellyfish. In fact, more of these jellyfish can actually be found in the depths of Giant's Deep, below the surface of the water, in between the powerful current in the field of electricity. They can be rowed to safely pass the barrier, allowing you access to the core of the planet, where an ancient facility resides, containing these nonsensical symbols. Giant's Deep is full of nonsensical ideas. Take this structure called the Tower of Quantum Knowledge, where you are tested on your skills of looking at stuff. You might not have noticed it due to being hidden in the eye of this large hurricane. Not to be confused with the other regular-sized ones, which move around and launch islands into space. Which isn't very helpful when you are trying to explore all of the interesting things on them, such as this workshop where the statues as seen in the Hearthian Museum were made. Actually, these aliens seem to always have been making things. In the planet's low orbit, you can find the orbital probe cannon. It can be observed firing when you wake up, shattering itself in the process. What is the reason for this being created? Well, We can read the notes left here and come to the conclusion. This was for something stupid. They wanted to find the eye of the universe, but didn't know exactly where it was. So they decided, let's just fire a probe to everywhere. But you know, I think they have a point. Not in the firing a probe everywhere thing, but in their ideas and handling of time. Slowing down, enjoying yourself, taking it at your own pace. Sure, it could be important, and you could rush through everything, but you'd be robbing yourself of your time. Gabbro seems to understand, seeing as he shares their circumstance, and still chooses to move at his own pace. Knowing that in time, things will be alright. And that every once in a while, it is okay to stop and smell the pine trees.